Hey, welcome back once again. Like I said at the end of last episode, turns out that episode was way longer than anticipated, so we actually ended up having to cut it in half, which is why this looks a little different than it did before and looks a little different than it will in a minute. But we wanted to get this rolling as soon as possible. So I promise there's more fun to go, and let's get it started. Ha! I've been advised that we're actually a little bit backed up on Florida Man stories because it has been so long since I've had a chance to do that with you. And we've actually. Yeah. Florida Man story. Wow, that's actually. It's a lot of Florida Man stories. We have some serious ground to cover on this. And now, some of these were actually Florida Man stories that you guys have sent in to me because you really wanted me to cover it. So we'll kind of see how this goes along the way. All right, Florida Man. A Florida man was arrested after breaking into a stranger's home and cooking food. Investigators say that the 19-year-old broke into a home in Safety Harbor around 4 a.m. According to deputies, he entered the home via an unlocked back door, and once inside, he began cooking and eating the owner's food. When the owner confronted the Florida man, he was told, "Go back to sleep." The man was later found hiding in a wooded area behind the home, where he was arrested on a burglary charge. So, if you happen to wake up in the middle of the night and you smell somebody cooking, it might not necessarily be somebody else like your roommate. Could be someone that just kind of wandered in, decided to cook your food. So go Florida man. Here's another one. Oakland Park deputies are looking for a Florida man who swung a sword at another man during a dispute over some discarded trash. Sheriff's office officials say the victim went for a jog around his neighborhood and found a pile of trash in front of a vacant home. A Florida man was already rummaging through the trash pile when the jogger stopped to have a look. The jogger spotted a dump cart and decided to take it. The Florida man who was there first became upset, feeling he had rights to the cart because he was there first. After an exchange of words, the jogger left with the cart, and when he arrived home, the jogger realized he had been followed by the Florida man. As Florida man got closer to the victim, he unsheathed a sword and began swinging it at him while trying to take the cart away. After a brief struggle, the sword-wielding Florida man walked off cartless. That is amazing. Apparently there is a video of this as well, which is awesome. I would highly recommend you go onto the Google here. Feel free to, after I tell you what to look for, pause the video, open a new tab, go into, Google or something. Search for Florida man attacks jogger with sword. I've had a couple people that have said that they really would love if I posted the videos and pictures myself here in the video. I'm not really sure I have the rights to be able to do that because it's not really my material. If it's something that I figure out that I can do, we'll totally do something like that later on. But until then, I just got to tell you, hey, look it up. Maybe we'll throw something in the comments of the video. So, yes, Florida man attacks jogger with sword. Look up that video. Here's a Florida man story for you. You ready for this? Or a Florida couple? Okay. In a wild encounter, woman bites testicles of tiger truck stop camel to escape. I say again. In a wild encounter, woman bites testicles of tiger truck stop camel to escape. Let's see. A Florida couple stopped at the Tiger Truck Stop in Ibersville, Louisiana, where the Florida man tossed dog treats into the truck stop's 6-foot-tall camel enclosure. After the man's dog went under the fence chasing the treats, imagine that, the camel made threatening gestures at the dog. The Florida man made threatening gestures at the camel. The Florida woman went into the enclosure to try to rescue her dog, and the camel sat on the Florida woman in an effort to subdue the intruder. As the camel was sitting on the woman and she feared for her life, she bit the camel's testicles, which helped her escape. I want to know, was that like the first thing she tried, or did she try other things? How intoxicated was everybody? And that poor dog. Honestly, poor camel and poor dog. Like, the dog had no idea. I mean, if someone threw, like, a pizza into the middle of some place that I thought was abandoned, I would probably go after the pizza. So, if someone shows the dog dog treats, throws it in there, I mean, if I was the dog, I'd be going in there too. And then, oh my God, a camel. The Florida woman told witnesses that the animal had broken her ribs and her collarbone, but that later she asked for a cigarette from a witness and smoked it with no apparent trouble. A veterinarian said the camel appeared to be fine, but was given antibiotics as a precaution, because you don't know where a Florida woman has been. The sheriff's deputy cited the Florida couple for violating dog leash laws and trespassing into the enclosure, both misdemeanors. The sheriff's office didn't find any reason to hold the truck stop liable for their injuries because of the signs warning visitors to stay out. Florida people. I didn't think I was going to be able to be impressed by these stories, but you continue to impress me, Florida people. All right, we got one more. Let's go through this last one. So, a Florida dog went on a joyride driving a car around a cul-de-sac. In circles. In reverse. According to the Port St. Lucie police, officers responded to reports of a dog locked in a 2003 Silver Mercury Sable circling the cul-de-sac while in reverse gear. Investigators learned that the car owner made a wrong turn on their way home, I'll say. The driver got out, shut the door, leaving the dog inside. The dog, named Max, accidentally hit the shifter into reverse, causing the car to circle the cul-de-sac, leaving the owner locked out of the car. So police said as the car circled the cul-de-sac, it struck and damaged a mailbox while driving for several minutes. The driver provided an extra key fob, but the battery was dead, so that forced the police to enter the code on the keypad of the door. Thankfully, no injuries were reported. I imagine the dog's license was suspended. I don't know how many points you would put on a dog's license, but whew! Those are some Florida man stories right there. Wow, that is impressive. That's the latest ballad of our Florida superhero, Florida Man. And they say if you listen closely, you can still hear Florida Man's call.
I'm like a mighty morphin' garbage ranger. Hiya!
All right, one last thing before we go. I've had a couple people ask me that they want to see more magic, or as I will probably call from here on out, RichCraft. So let me take you aside and let's show you some RichCraft, shall we? So this is a really cool 3-card Monty effect that I used to do fairly often when I worked at a magic shop. But then after I left the magic shop, I never had it, so I never had a chance to do it. I had it up on a Christmas list one year. Jesse got it for me. I pulled it out of the package and immediately did the routine for her without looking at anything, which completely blew her mind that even after years, I'd still done it. So the general idea is I met a guy on the street, and he said, all right, here, I'll tell you what. I got 2 of these cards. Has a blue diamond. One of these cards has a red diamond. Now, I'll tell you what, we'll make this a game for money. If I show you that red diamond, I show you that card and I show you I put it right on the bottom. I bet you $1 you can't tell me what color that diamond is. I said, all right, on bottom, the red diamond's got to be on the bottom. He said, nope, you owe me $1. I said, all right, so if I've seen the that red diamond on the bottom, or sorry, the red diamond's not on the bottom, that means it's got to be on the top. He said, nope, you owe me $2. I said, all right, well, in that case, it's got to be in the middle. He said, you owe me $3. I said, wait a minute, it's not either one of those? You're not even using a red diamond. He said, you owe me $4. So wait a minute. Okay, so if I've seen that red diamond on the bottom of the pack, that means it can't be on the top. He said, you owe me $5. I said, wait a minute, then it's not going to be in the middle. He said, you owe me $6. I said, buddy, you're using more than 3 cards. He said, 1, 2, 3, you owe me $7. And then he said, all right, I'll tell you what. I don't actually want to cheat you out of your money. I'm going to be a nice guy to you here. So I'll tell you what. I'll give you a double or nothing. Or if I got a blue diamond there and a red diamond here, what's the color of this diamond right here? And when I went to answer him, he said, you owe me $14. Can you believe that? And that there was a bit of RichCraft. Thanks for coming to hang out with me. That is about all the time that we have for today, so please click on the subscribe button here on YouTube. That actually does the most good for me and the show. We are halfway towards that custom URL. Ha! Go to Rich Does a Thing at Facebook. Like, follow that as well. Check me out, Rich Does a Thing on Twitter, Rich Does a Thing on Instagram, pretty much any kind of social media site that you can think of. Check for Rich Does a Thing. We're probably on there as well. And hope everybody had a wonderful Thanksgiving, and I will see you next time. Bye.